as Mondui is helping us and our joint brothers and sisters to better understand how to effectively and efficiently succeed in coin missions. Think of the experience in Algeria. In 1958, a new French commander of forces in Algeria stepped onto the scene, General Maurice Shaw. He was an accomplished airman who understood the speed and flexibility afforded by France's air power advantage. But he also understood the need for closely integrated joint operations that leveraged the inherent strengths of the ground and air forces in combined roles. He abandoned the old static system of spreading forces evenly throughout the theater and employed a new system that one might call the surge approach, where Mondui describes the Shaw plan utilizing primarily air-gathered intelligence, and without warning, the elite units in the Air Force move at tremendous speed into enemy territory. Within a few minutes, units land in the heart of insurgent territory. The elite forces engage immediately the insurgents, while fighters, bombers, armed helicopters patrol the battle space and strafe and bomb any insurgents leaving the area, or in today's lingo, leakers. The command and control post is always shared by Army and Air Force commanders. Employing the local sector troops to finish the job and then to keep the area clean. It was devastating to the FLN in terms of lives and morale, what we said. And I think it sounds a bit familiar, don't you? Except for the level of technology, the techniques are not all that different from what we find successful today. But Mondui goes on to describe the results within a broader context of the enduring lessons in how the Shaw plan became effective. And he helps us think about air power as a useful part of the counterinsurgency campaign. He will tell you quite frankly that air power used in close coordination with ground forces based on time-sensitive intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance was very effective. It was then, and it is now. As he tells it, it was hell on earth, believe me. I was at the receiving end during 2 excessively long and horrifying months. Close working relationships between the Air Force and the Army were the sine qua non conditions for the success of this plan. Joint planning, command and control were the names of the game, he said. And based on our recent experience, I could not agree more. Montui's experience taught him that air power was at most an important weapon against the insurgency, but one with effects both hard and soft. From the advantages of rapid air mobility to information superiority from aerial intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance efforts, to rapid kinetic strike and close air support capability that air power provides. Mondui and the FLN learned the hard way of the impact these efforts and effects have on an insurgency when used within an integrated command and control system. Mondui sums it up in one word, which he used, and it was paralysis. And I think that's pretty close to what we're thinking about today. I'm not exaggerating here. Paralysis perhaps is a bit of exaggeration. but those were his words. And the question is, how can we better leverage the technologies that Pete Singer so aptly describes in his latest book in innovative ways that integrate all aspects of the joint team in an effort to suffocate the insurgent operations in the most efficient and effective way possible. I like the word suffocate better than paralysis. It is truly amazing that the unmanned systems of today can deliver real-time information around the clock to both users on the ground and those half a world away. In 1959, who would have believed that such a thing would have become a reality in less than a lifetime? And what sort of integrated technologies will be the norm in 50 years? And what must we do to leverage them in a timely manner? But while the ways and means will change with the exponential growth of technologies which surround us, from the slide rule to the computer, there are foundational principles, I believe, that will never change. This form of integrated application of hard and soft power varies from context to context. And the mission of counterinsurgency is certainly not one for the military instrument of national power alone, but rather part of a larger coordinated effort with coalition and interagency partners across the national instruments of power. Our ongoing challenge includes discovering how best to inculcate these lessons institutionally in your Air Force, so we don't have to relearn these lessons with each succeeding generation. And your Air Force is dedicated to establishing an appropriate institutional architecture, perhaps a wing, at least, culture and career paths to facilitate a sharp edge in irregular warfare that improves as time goes on. That is why we are grateful to have insurgents among us, like Remy Mondouille, and we are paying attention to the lessons of the past. And I'm grateful as well for all of you who are here today who play in your own ways, those of us in government, those of us in the defense intelligentsia and in industry. All of us play important roles in this process of improvement. And in thinking about how we can get better at each aspect of this vitally important aspect of our national security. I look forward to